If anybody out there has one of these Kreg jigs that doesn't have any kind of dust collection, I'm going to show you an easy way to create a really good dust collection setup. So I did this on my Kreg jig, and this is like the K2000 or whatever. So this is one of the old ones. And before I had the Foreman, the power one, I had this, and this works really well. And so I'm going to show you how I made this. And so if anybody has the same one, you can adapt it to yours. But I know the brand new models come with a dust collection port, but the old ones did not. And these produce a lot of wood chips. So if you use them, you know what it's like. And if you have some scrap wood laying around, it don't cost you anything. So I'll show you how to do this. Two parts to this project. One is the bottom and one is the top. Now that's the way I did it. However, if you had a big enough piece of wood, you could probably create this out of one piece. You're down here at the bottom, there's a couple screws securing it. Pretty big screws. Okay, so you can see right there, that's it. I think at some point I actually did put some glue on there just to temporarily secure it while I drilled the holes and screwed it. You can see the glue right there, 2P10, and that's it. Well, why don't I show you how to build this? All right, the first thing I'm going to do before I actually break this down is I just traced it. So I just put it together loosely, and I just traced it out on some paper so that I can do a measurement for anybody who wants to do this. If you don't have material thick enough in order to get this shape, obviously you're going to have to do it, let's say, in two pieces just like this. But if you have material that's thick enough, you clearly could do this in one piece, just using your bandsaw. The whole thing. So this whole thickness here from there to there is 2 5/8. And then what it is 5 inches top to bottom. So 5/8 or 2 5/8 thick, 5 inches tall. And this thickness is also, or I should say this, the width here, this is 2 5/8 also. Now I happen to have a big thick piece of poplar left over from a project. This is what I'm going to use to go ahead and make this. But you could, if you didn't have, this is just happens to be 3 inches thick. And so the piece is going to be just, perfectly, it's going to work. This is completely rough. There's nothing straight on it. So I'm going to take it to my joiner and joint the edge, make sure it's nice and square, and then joint a face, make sure that's nice. And then I'm going to reference off of that to make everything else. If I didn't have this one, I would just take my measurements, but since I have this, I'll trace it out and then go to the bandsaw and cut everything out. All right, this is what I want to joint right here. And I'm going to go ahead, this is pretty good, but I'm going to make it better. So just pick whatever side you want to start with and start working on that. And since this piece is so out of square, it's going to take a few passes, several passes, to get this guy good. Okay, next thing is just to make this so that it's the same thickness, width that it needs to be. I don't want to run this on the bottom of the bandsaw, I want this to be. So I'm going to take this line and I'm actually going to put it on this side in order to cut that. So put it just like that. Okay, if you have a bandsaw that has what would be considered a blade drift, meaning that you're not square to the table, this angle is not 90 degrees. I take it and I put it up on the back of the saw, just like this, and I can take my measurement. And again, this is just roughing it, so it's not really important for it to be right on the money. But I just take it around where I want to cut widthwise, and I take my gauge and match that angle with it, I know that this is going to be cutting straight. As this saw did not come with any kind of a fence, this was an easy thing to do. All right, so you get it somewhere close. You set up your gauge to the right angle right there. So now you can see why we have this nice square bottom and square side there, so we can put it up and you can see how square it is with the fence and just make this cut. So we'll see if it follows this line or gives me a consistent cut. Okay, pretty good. We'll check the width on this. That is almost exactly what I was saying, just a little greater than 2 and 11. And now we'll just join off that freshly bandsawed edge. All right, now I'm gonna actually make a little bit of a modification. When I first made this, I did it like that so that I could leave some space here. And mostly I thought I needed some air, but I think in reality that doesn't need to be there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change this just a little bit, and I'm gonna fill that in with wood. So rather than cutting it at an angle right there, I'm actually gonna cut this profile there. And the best way to get that profile matched would be to trace this outline. Once I get that pencil line even with the front edge of the Kreg jig, I just take my pencil and draw that curve right there. That's it. So now I've got that perfect angle. I want to get that hole drilled first, so I just need to figure out where that hole is going to go. And I'm using the Festool or Bosch hoses, and so I'm going to use a 1 3/8 inch Forstner bit. That 1 3/8 Forstner bit is going to be perfect, but it's going to be really tight, so I can push it in and it's going to be nice and tight. So with it like that, I can go ahead and figure out where I'm going to drill a hole. And all it needs to be is in the center area. We want to make sure that we're not too low, that it hits here. So this is going to be the bottom. You can see that mark there. That's essentially that point right there. Now I need to be a little bit above the nut there, the knob. So I want to be right at that level. So basically I want to be right here. And I can go square up to that and put it about, the bottom edge is going to be about right there. So that's going to be the bottom. And then, so of course we're going to go over to whatever 1 3/8 is, and then that's going to be that mark. For your pieces, you just want to make sure that your hole is directly in the center. So if I take my tape measure, 1 5/16 strong. Okay, so that's very close to the exact center of this piece. So that's where I'm going to drill that hole right there. And that's why we're going to leave everything square, because as we're doing this, this piece isn't going to be, wandering on us. It's going to be very easy to drill that hole. So let's go to the drill press and drill it. And I'm just going to let the fence just be back there. But if this piece wasn't so tall, I would be using the fence. I just don't want to starve the vacuum. But I do want to use the vacuum, so I'm just going to take this and back this out a little bit so that it gets some airflow. Dust collection is not going to be that great right now, just because it's going to be, a little ways away, but it'll still do something. I have a little ways further to go, so what I might do is take this and just drop it down a little bit. See if that'll get me far enough. Now you can see how difficult that would be if this was already angled. Okay, we're ready to cut this guy to size. Now we can cut this angle and we can cut this one as well. All right, let's go to the sander and get this sanded up. Make sure that it's reasonable. I would say that is perfect. Nice. Now, if you do find that you need more air, because there's air in these slots here, but if you find that you need more air, what I would do is drill a couple of holes on each side. But I don't know if you will or not. It just really depends on, your situation, how powerful your vacuum is, whatever. But that fills in that space just nicely. So it's a little different than my original. And then of course your hose just goes in just perfectly, that hole right there. So it's just at the bottom. And I know it's hard to see in there because it's kind of dark, but you can see it's just at the bottom there. So that's really cool. All right, so we know this thing fits like a glove. I'm gonna go ahead and sand it up. All right, now mine, I need to align these holes just because I want to make sure that I go into the original hole if possible. So either that or go in a completely different area. But, I'd rather go close to it. But what I would do is just come across here and put a line where that hole is and come across and then connect it all the way down. And then what I would do, take it just like that and align it so that I know exactly where that's going to be. Okay, so that's it right there. And now I'll just square a line up to the top so I know that that's where that goes. That's where that goes. Down. So you just want to make sure that you're going in square to this here. This. And so if you take that. Just like that. All right, see how these fit. Whether or not you want to do it like this and you want to build it in two pieces, or you want to do it like this and just do it in one piece, this is definitely a cool project for anybody who has a Kreg jig that doesn't already have some sort of a dust collection accessory or something for it. I think it's just a fun thing to do. And knowing that, you could go to Home Depot or Lowe's and get just a scrap piece of 2x6, and you do everything with a piece of 2x6 for sure. All right, let's do a little test. We're going to do it without the jigs in place. Okay, fair amount of a mess right there, I would say. Let's see how it does. Jeez. Okay. That's a significant mess. And that was just 6 holes, people. These things, if you didn't know how messy these were, they are really messy. So let me go ahead and put that over there. Put the little jig on. we'll put the new one on versus the old one, just because that's what we just made. Use this guy right here, of course. This is my Festool hose. You could use a Bosch. This is obviously thinner, so you know it's not going to have a tremendous amount of airflow, but this doesn't need it. As you can see, the hole size allows it to be a nice friction fit, and just twist it in. This thing's locked in there. Now, because I have my IVAC switch, I can turn it on, my vacuum. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Now look at this thing. Not only did it not leave any, there's not one chip out there, but there's nothing in the holes. So, do you know what I mean? Like there's actually nothing in the hole. So before it was like covered. This thing is awesome. Make this, please do yourself a favor. Tell your friends, like the video, and give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I do cabinet videos. I do woodworking videos, custom furniture, custom cabinetry, and jigs like this for your shop, among other things. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. You can see that guy. Nice.